I've been playing COD Zombies for over 15 years now, and in that time, I have played every single Zombies map enough to learn something useful on them. Whether it's a trick to manipulate spawns, an Easter egg skip, a boss fight skip, or just general knowledge you should know, I have at least one tip for every Zombies map in history, and that's what we're doing today. We're gonna go through every map in COD Zombies history from Nocturne, Toten, and World War all the way to Reckoning and Black Ops 6, and I'm gonna give you one tip for every single map. And let me just say, if you're a big fan of my useful information series, then you will recognize a few things from this video. Most of this video is stuff that you haven't seen before, but I only got one darkest short tip, so leave me alone. And one more thing before we hop in. If you enjoyed, be sure to click the like button and also subscribe. A lot of y'all have been subbing recently to help push us over 50,000 subscribers. And now we've knocked down this stat a little bit, so now 79% of you are not subscribed. So if you're in that 79% that's not subscribed yet, you should definitely change that to help us get to 50k. And with that, like always, we're gonna start off with Nocturne Toten. This is the first map ever made in Zombies, and it's also the single most bare bones map in Zombies history as well. So the tip I have for this map isn't very helpful, but I do think you could get some use out of it. In the help room, zombies will not spawn behind this barrier until round 5. Even if you have the help room open, they'll spawn from the 2 windows, but not behind this wall. Obviously, once round 5 hits, they will spawn here. On Verrückt, if you spawn on the quick revive side and then open your way to power and keep this door closed, then you can actually camp at this door and all the zombies will come from the doorway in front of you. No zombies will spawn down these stairs below the box. When you open a door in Shinonuma for a random perk, the game wants you to think it's random, but it's really not. As soon as you open the door and you see the perk start cycling through, the first perk that the game shows you will always be the perk that spawns there, every single time. So if the cycle started with Jug, for example, then the perk that is guaranteed to be there is Jug. Also on the BO1 version, if you look through the perk doors, you can look where the perk machine is for a spark. If there's a spark here, then that means this is where quick revive is, every single time. This doesn't work on World War and BO3, but the other trick does. You can place 2 bouncing betties at the back of the catwalk at the start of every single round, and you can stack these pretty much infinitely. So if you place 2 on every round, eventually when you have enough, you can let the zombies run into it to have this happen. Still one of the most satisfying things in Zombies. Almost nobody likes the Nova Crawlers, but thankfully you can mostly stop them from spawning in your game. When you first load in the game, you want to take the right door at a spawn and open your way to the power. While you're playing in the map, make sure you keep the left door at a spawn closed off. Do not open this door. Once you're set up, come to the stage and buy the door that nobody buys, and go to the box location in the alley. As long as you have the door to spawn closed, then no Nova Crawlers will ever spawn back here with you. So you can just hang out back here and play the best Zombies map of all time without seeing a single crawler. On 5, you can very easily cheese the Pentagon Thief to get 2 Pack-a-Punch guns on round 5. To do this, you do have to be on solo, unfortunately, but thankfully it is really simple. When you start your game, come over here and buy Quick Revive. Once the Pentagon Thief spawns in, get line of sight of him and down yourself. Doing so will take out the Mustang and Sallies, in which you can very easily take him out with. After you take him out, you'll get the bonfire cell, and now you can go and Pack-a-Punch both of your guns for a total cost of 2,000 points and 1 Quick Revive. If you're a decent player and you think you can waste a Quick Revive, then I think this is worth doing every single game of 5 that you play. Oh look, it's another map I'll show you how to cheese the special enemies. As we all know, the monkeys are really annoying on Ascension, but you can actually manipulate where they spawn so they will never take any of your perks. When a monkey round starts, you want to hang out on the pack side of the fire trap and wait for a few monkeys to spawn. Once you hear a few, turn on the fire trap and kill the, at most, 2 monkeys that'll spawn down here. At this point, the fire trap will now protect Mule Kick and Speed Cola for the rest of the round. So now you want to go up these stairs and drop through the hole to get around the fire trap. Now you want to quickly look on the bottom floor here and see if any monkeys are going for Jug, and if they are, protect it obviously, but if they're not, run the PhD and Stamina up and maybe Quick Revive if they go for that, and you should come across every single monkey in the round. Another thing to remember with the monkeys is, they will only ever go for up to 2 different perks in 1 round. So if you see one trying to path to Jug, for example, then you know that Jug is one of the 2 perks in that round that they'll go for unless they steal it. If they do, they'll then go for another perk afterwards. In co-op, this still applies, but apply 1 additional perk machine per player in the game. So in 2-player, the monkeys will go for 3 different perk machines, and so on. Hey look, it's the 4th map in a row where I tell you how to get around annoying parts of an enemy. You can actually stop George from ever shocking you, and for the most part, never being able to attack you again in your game. Doing this is insanely simple. Just get an insta-kill to spawn, and anger George so he shocks a zombie. And then from here, all you have to do is melee kill that shocked zombie with the insta-kill up, and now from this point until the rest of the game, he won't be able to shock you, and also, unless you get really close to him, then his attacks won't register on you either. On Shangri-La, you can can bait the napalm zombie into exploding by running past him. After he explodes, he will leave fire on the ground that'll kill any zombie that touches it for the next 20 seconds. This makes for a really good area of denial. You can actually trap the astronaut on both versions of Moon. On BO1, it's a little tricky. You want to leave this door in Tunnel 6 closed and get to the power via Tunnel 11 and by the back door to Tunnel 6 to get to this part of the tunnel. Now you gotta wait for an astronaut to be with you, and also, the announcer is saying Tunnel 6 is about to be breached. Once she gives a warning that there is 30 seconds left, you want to leave the astronaut here and run to the power. This should give you just enough time so when the astronaut gets near you again, the excavator will actually block the astronaut, trapping him in Tunnel 6. As long as you don't buy this door by the MPL, then he will be trapped in this tunnel for the rest of the game. On BO3 you can also do this, but it is a little strange. You want to have both the Tunnel 6 and Tunnel 11 excavators down, and then wait for the astronaut to spawn. Once he does, either use a Gerst device or pop anywhere but here to hopefully teleport past the excavators. At this point, the astronaut won't be able to path to you. Transit's Pack-a-Punch is really annoying, but thankfully, there is a way to make it easier to unlock. Instead of placing a turbine near the power door, you can actually place it near the 74 U wall by, and the turbine's AoE effect will still hit this door. Doing it like this will save you around a minute of running out of the power room, making it much less likely that a zombie will break the turbine. And also, speaking of the turbine, here's an additional tip for you. You can actually tell the health of your turbine by the fin. If the fin on it is pointing straight up, then that means that it's either at or close to full health. If the fin is pointing sideways, then that means it's about half health, and if it's pointing straight down, then you should definitely go grab another one before unlocking Pack-a-Punch. Another map that I don't have much to work with, unfortunately, is Nuketown. Because I don't have much to work with, I'm gonna show you how to tell where the perks will spawn before they show up. Now this doesn't work for specific perks, like you can't tell where Jug will be on round 1 for example, but you can tell where one of the perks will spawn. Around the map there are piles of crates. When you run into this crate, if you hear like this little glass jingle sound like this, then this means that at some point in a game, a perk will spawn there. Like I said, unfortunately, there's no way to tell exactly what perk it is, but if you find the 4 locations like this, when you hear a perk spawn, you can just go check these locations to go find your new perk. On die rides, you can jump through the ceiling to get to the next floor. This is kind of hard to do at first, but once you figure it out, it is pretty useful. You want to go to the elevator shaft of your choice and walk inside it a bit. When you're doing this, you want to hug the right side of the elevator shaft like this. Once you have this part lined up so you're in line with this vertical bar, next you want to look on the ground for a line. Depending on where you are, this might be a different color. It might be black, it might be gray, it might be blue. It doesn't matter the color, just know that every single elevator shaft has a line like this at the edge of the floor. When you have your crosshair lined up with this line, you want to spam jump like 6 times. If you lined it up right, then you'll mantle through the ceiling to get to the next floor. On Mob of the Dead, you can buy doors for free. With a charge of Afterlife, you want to walk up to a door and cook a grenade. The grenade will tick 3 times before it explodes. As soon as you see the 3rd tick on your screen, you want to jump, and if you're on controller, hold your interact button, but if you're on keyboard or mouse, spam your interact button. If done right, the game will buy the door for you in Afterlife completely for free. As we all know, Leroy can hold the last crawler forever in your game. But what if you want to hold 1 zombie left and also use Leroy? Well, lucky for you, there's a really simple trick you can do to achieve this. Give him the candy so he picks up a crawler, and while he's doing the animation to pick up the crawler, you want to shoot him a couple times. This will make him glitch out the crawler and drop him under the map, and he'll run back to his cage. Now all you gotta do is go around the map and find his key and unlock his cell to have access to him. This is really great to use, but unfortunately there is one thing you have to keep in mind, and that is, while this zombie is glitched underground, you cannot go into the witch's house, because that'll make the zombie bleed out and go to the next round. But as long as you stay out of the witch's house, then this trick will give you infinite time to do literally whatever you want to without any issues whatsoever. On Origins, you can actually hold 3 staffs at once. First things first, you gotta get the staffs fully upgraded and in their pedestals in the crazy place. After that, pack a bunch of weapons and leave them in the machine. Doing so will make it so you have no weapons in your inventory. Now you want to go back to the crazy place and pick up a staff. To pick up your second staff, all you have to do is pull out the revive ability on your staff and walk up to another staff and pick it up to hold 2 of them. Seriously, it's that simple. You can do this in co-op too, to have 2 players hold 2 staffs each, but if you're in solo, or if you just want to be a horrible person, then you can actually pick up a 3rd staff. Go by Mule Kick, and again, pull out the revive ability on your staff and interact with the 3rd staff to hold 3 staffs in your inventory. Unfortunately, this doesn't work on BO3, but on BO2, have fun being extremely overpowered. That's it for Treyarch Zombies for now. Now let's talk about the first non-Treyarch Zombies game, Exo Zombies, starting with Outbreak. The incinerator step is one of the worst steps in Exo Zombies, but thankfully, there is a way to make it a lot easier. If you pack a punch an LMG or a sniper a few times, times and you'll get a thermal sight on it. This thermal sight will make it to where when you're doing the incinerator step, if you stand near the exit in ADS and shoot the ground, you will very easily see the key card pop out of the air when you shoot it. It's not much really, but if anything can help you on this step, you take the help. The survivor rounds on infection are really punishing, but you can actually negate some of its negative effect. If you hit the 3D printer when the survivor failed text pops up, then the game will glitch out the box and will leave the box on for the entire power drain. Moving on to carrier now. If you're in a co-op game, if you time it just right, then you can have everyone in your game throw grenades into Plinko board at the same time. Doing so will make it so the team will get a ton of extra points, allowing you to set up in the map much earlier. And finally for Exo Zombies, Descent. A lot of people don't like the friendly fire challenge, and yeah, it kind of is a stupid step, but it's really not that hard if you abuse teleporters. When this challenge starts, you want to make your way to either spawn or juggernog and wait for the crew to catch up to you. When they're close, you want to use the teleporter in here to teleport to the complete opposite side of the map. From here, you want to use your streaks and grenades as much as you can to kill as many zombies as possible before the crew catches back up. Once they do catch back up with you, you just want to use the teleporter again. You'll only have to do this like at most 4 times until you beat this step without any of the crew being able to attack you. That's it for Exo Zombies. Now let's jump back to Treyarch, starting with my favorite map of all time, Shadows of Evil. The Margwa used to be really threatening, but thankfully, there are multiple ways on this map to absolutely destroy it. The first is probably the easiest one to do, and that's just by spamming literally any shotgun in this game, besides the Argus. Sorry, bud. At his head when it spawns. All the shotguns in this game are so good that this will be able to take out the Margwa before it can even move. But let's say for some reason you have like the Pharaoh or something, and you can't do this. Instead, what you can do is you can get the Civil Protector to kill him. As long as the Margwa is near this blue circle on the ground when the Civil Protector spawns in, when he lands, he will one-shot kill any amount of Margwas near it. This strat is really good for the Arc Rhythm steps. Another way to one-shot the Margwa is by meleeing him with pop shocks, and the fourth and final really easy way I have to take out a Margwa is to get the upgraded sword, the Apothicon sword, and click left trigger to unleash it and go into beast mode. In beast mode, you can walk up to a Margwa and melee one of its open heads to one-shot its head with your unleashed sword. To be honest, I don't know why this last one works, but it does. And with these 4 strategies, you should be able to deal with the Margwa from here on out. On the Giant, there is a secret Easter egg you can do to unlock a 6th perk. And normally, you can't tell what perk this is until you complete the side Easter egg to do it. But you can actually tell what perk is under this snowbank as soon as you turn on the power. You want to shoot the top half and the bottom half of this snowbank, and depending on where you hear glass break, that will tell you what perk you got. If you shoot the top half of this snowbank and you hear glass breaking, then this means that you got stamina, but if you hear the glass breaking in the bottom half, then this means that you got Deadshot.
Perhaps one day, I will find one that tastes like a cuttlefish.
Under Eisendrache, you can activate the rocket test pretty much whenever you want to, as long as it's been at least 90 seconds since the last rocket test went off. The very next time a power-up spawns, the rocket test will activate, whether it's a power-up from the zombies, a gobblegum drop, or a Widow's Wine drop. And by the way, if you have Widow's Wine, then you can force a Widow's Wine grenade to spawn. Just get a horde of zombies up and throw a grenade inside the horde, and then take them out after the Widow's Wine grenade explodes. Doing so will guarantee you at least 1 Widow's Wine drop, which, as we went over, will activate the rocket test. On the cog step on Zetsubo no Shima, instead of needing to drop off the zipline, you can actually get this cog much easier. Get to a spider round and leave 1 spider left, and come to the docks and lure him near this wooden crate. You want to stand right in front of this wooden crate so the spider comes up to you and tries to bite you. When he's doing this attack, you want to quickly back up and run and try to jump on top of him. If you did it right, then you will be able to jump on top of the spider, allowing you to easily walk into the crate to get the cog. On the Valkyrie Drone step on Garad Krovi, Idolize makes this step completely free, so no zombies will go after you for the entire step. And additionally, when he gets to the steps outside Dragon Command, then you can actually kill the Valkyrie drone to finish the step early. Even though it makes a fail sound, Sophia will still suck nothing into the air and will give you the success flash. And finally, for Black Ops 3, let's talk about Revelations. The very first step of this Easter egg requires you to protect the Keeper for 3 minutes, but there is a trick you can do so that you don't have to sit here and protect him. You want to start the defense step and then end the round. As soon as the round finishes, you want to quickly run to Noct and run inside the Apothicon. When you're in here and the Keeper's still doing his thing, you'll be able to tell because the zombies will just stand still, like this. This is how you know it's working. Once 3 minutes pass, the step will finish and the zombies will start moving again. So now you can return back to where the Keeper was and grab the rail to finish this step. Now we're going to move back to non-Treyarch zombies, starting with, in my opinion, the best non-Treyarch map of all time, Zombies in Spaceland. If you're playing this map without Director's Cut, then there is a way to rack up a ton of points on a really low round. Go to the arcade as soon as you can in your game and get 500 tickets and buy the Forge Freeze. This wonder weapon is absolutely terrible, but it's it's really good for grinding points. If you get a horde of zombies up, even on like round 4, you can tap fire this on a horde of zombies to freeze them and get a couple hundred points for it. You can do this over and over again, and as long as you're tap firing this in the horde, then they will never die to the forge freeze, so you can use this to get as many points as you can before you run out of ammo. And if you really want a lot of points, after you drain the ammo, you can go back to the arcade and get another 150 tickets to buy an ammo refill for it, and with it you can very easily get the director's cut level points. On the second challenge in Rave's Easter egg, you need to get a bunch of leg kills. If you go to one of the totems around the map and put 1 orange gem and 2 blue gems in it, then you will craft a balloon trap. This balloon trap will make the leg challenge extremely easy. Just place this trap down when you start to step, and any zombie that dies to it will count as a leg kill. The brain step in Shellen's boss fight is easily one of the most confusing steps in Zombies history that most people, myself included until very recently, don't know how it actually works. But I got good news for you because I figured it out. On this brain step, you want to pull out your chi and get a charged shuriken ready and throw it at the Rat King's staff while it's glowing. Doing so will make it to where he can't attack the zombies for the rest of this brain step, making it so you can very easily complete this step. Like I said, I didn't realize how this step worked until very recently, until a few of you actually commented this in my boss fights rank video, so thank you, I appreciate it. If you do a tax boss fight on co-op and you're playing with someone who cannot for the life of them input the code, then you can have one person enter the code multiple times to successfully beat this boss fight. And finally, for Beast from Beyond, this boss fight is really annoying, but thankfully, there is a way to cheese the last 2 steps. You want to load in the boss fight with the EBR Bomber and Ego Trip, and also run any of the following weapon variants that's on the screen right now. All of these variants have an ability on them called Ninja, where every time you fully empty a magazine and reload it, all the enemies in a boss fight will ignore you for the next 5 seconds. When you start the 100-second lockdown, just sit in front of the ammo crate in here and keep emptying your mag to keep the cryptids off you the entire time. And also, whatever you do not reload manually. And after you beat this step, you'll be on the next step where you have to take out 2 blue rhinos. At this point, you want to pull out the EBR Bomber and pop head trip and spam shots at the crate exactly where I do. If you're shooting in the right spot, then you can actually hit the blue rhinos before they even come out of the crate. And if you hit them enough, then you will successfully take out both blue rhinos before they even get out of this crate, which will save you, and I'm not even kidding with this, 5 to upwards of 10 minutes in this boss fight. Now jumping on to World War II. What, you thought I wouldn't cover the hardest boss fight in Zombies history?
Mephistopheles.
My tips for this boss fight is you have to run the right FNF cards. As soon as you load in this boss fight, pop evade immediately. This will make it to where you can simply double tap your sprint button to quickly charge out of the way out of almost every attack. Just whatever you do, don't use this on the fire tornadoes. That will not end well. And also in the final part of this boss fight, when you got a spray map, pop explosive touch for this. This fortune card will one-shot any enemy that hits you unless it's a rhino or a slasher. And I guess, you know, the boss itself, obviously. With these 2 fortune cards, they will give you a ton of help in this boss fight. And also, 2026 Meth Guide, anyone? Let me know. Now, actually jumping onto World War II Zombies, starting with the Final Reich. On the Final Reich, there is a really cool way to get the Reaper variant a lot earlier than usual. When you first open the salt mines in your game, 4 bomber zombies will spawn. You want to aim for the back head on each bomber zombie to make them drop the bomb they're carrying and basically become a normal zombie. Once they're running like this, you want to save them for a bit and do the next few steps in this Easter egg until the device needs charged. At this point, you want to kill every other zombie in the map except for the Woosling and the 4 bomber zombies from earlier. With just these enemies left, you want to run the Pack-a-Punch. You want to train the bomber zombies around the MP40 wall bot and wait for the Woosling. When he's in front of the battery, you want to run past him and shoot him so he charges out the battery to unlock it. Once he does, you can take out the battery and kill the Woosling. And finally, to finish this upgrade, you want to train the bomber zombies around this area, and once they're around this part in the Pack-a-Punch room, you want to make a mad dash for the trap to turn it on. Doing so will successfully charge the battery, allowing you to finish it as early as round 6. Now, moving on to Groston House. Oh boy, this one's gonna be hard. If you've never played this map, this is, and I'm not even kidding, the single most bare bones zombies map since Noctur and Toten. And because of this, I don't have much to work with. So my tip for this map is to just use the Ribby Rollers, or Ribby Rollers, Ribby Rolls, yeah. This thing. This weapon is an SMG that, when Pack-a-Punched, becomes an SMG that shoots explosive rounds. Not only does it have a decent amount of ammo, but it's also very strong. It'll 2 or 3 shot zombies in the late 20s. And if you combine it with Free Fire with the right mods, then this weapon should be able to carry you to round 50 to fight the Brenner. The Darkest Shore is a lot bigger than Groston House, but if you're new here, I do not like this map. So I don't have many tips for it. So I'm going to tell you how to get more zombies than usual on round 1. On round 0, where the game spawns in like 15 zombies that give you 10 points per kill. If you train these zombies up and lead them to either quick revive or the first door, then you can actually run to the other side of this spawn room to despawn the zombies. If you do this like 3 or 4 times, then it'll despawn all the zombies in the round, and all those zombies that you despawn will respawn on round 1, where the game will give you the normal amount of points. Doing this will give you over double the points that you normally would have on round 1. If any Darkest Shore fans watching this video know about more tips for this Easter egg, or just general gameplay for this map, by all means, put them down below. I'd really appreciate it. On the Shadowed Throne, there is a game of Hangman you can play to get a bunch of good rewards. This Easter egg takes place in the entrance to the theater. On the sign here, you will see a letter on the far left of it, with some arrows to the right of it and a zombie head to the left of it. In case you've never played Hangman before, you gotta guess one of the 7 random words that the game wants you to, but every incorrect letter that you guess will add a zombie part to the head. If you miss 6 times and you get a full body, then you'll have to restart the Hangman. To select a letter, you want to shoot this machine. Shoot the top arrow here to cycle up through the letters, and shoot the bottom arrow to cycle down through the letters. And to guess a letter, shoot this button in the middle and see if it was right. The easiest way to do this is to guess the vowels first, like A or E, and then go from there. Once you spell out one of these 7 words, then you will get a reward for it. If you enter the word famished, then you'll get a free max ammo. If you enter the word Geistcraft, then you'll get a free full power. The code Reaper will give you a free insta-kill. The code Damnation will spawn in a nuke. The code Gluttony will give you a free double points. And there are 2 more really helpful words you can spell. First, if you enter the code Wonder, then you will get the base Tesla gun from the Final Reich, and additionally, the upgraded Ripsaw from the Darkest Shore. And finally, if you enter the code The Jackbox, then you guessed it, you will get a free Jack in the Box. When you complete an objective round on Tortured Path, you'll get a supply drop with some weapons and drops. And normally when this spawns, the drops just last for 30 seconds and they disappear. However, if you shoot the parachute on the supply drop to make it fall on the map, then the max ammo and armor that spawn will not despawn until you pick it up. With this, you can save these drops until you're on a step where you need to spam Jack-in-the-Boxes or something. For the Frozen Dawn, I mean, what else could it be? You can very easily cheese the God King boss fight. If you load in a Frozen Dawn with Frontline and the mods Vicious, Determination, and Hand to Hand, then when you load into the boss fight, you can run up to him and melee him with the scythe to take him out in around 30 seconds. This is the DLC 4 boss fight, the ending of this game, and you can beat it just like this. Crazy. Going from one boss fight cheese to another, let's jump on to Black Ops 4, starting with 9. You can actually insta-kill the elephants in the boss fight. To do so, you need the Packed Wonder Weapon, your shield, and at least 1, but preferably 2 insta-kills. When you're in the boss fight, you want to watch out for when tigers start spawning. This means that the elephant is around 30 seconds away. So wait around 20 seconds here from when tigers start spawning, and then pop your insta-kill. And as soon as the elephant comes out, you want to grab that insta-kill and run right up to her and get a charged Wonder Weapon shot ready. You want to look at her front right foot, or from your view, her left foot. You want to watch for her to stomp that foot 3 times after she breaks the pyre. As soon as she stomps her left foot for a 3rd time, you want to shoot that charged Wonder Weapon shot at the gem on her chest, and then immediately pull out your shield and use it on her head to take her out before she can even move. For the second elephant, it's a little more challenging. You want to pop an insta-kill if you have it, and then once the elephant spawns in, with the Wonder Weapon out, you want to hold your reload button and spam fire your Wonder Weapon. Doing so will let you shoot the Wonder Weapon extremely fast, and with this trick, you can very easily take out the gem, and from here you can either finish the elephant with your shield, or you can just keep spamming her with the Wonder Weapon to take her out. And with this, you successfully took out 2 elephants without them even being able to move. On Voyage of Despair, you can skip the latter half of the iceberg step. Once you're at the point where an iceberg gives you a max ammo, you want to throw a homunculus behind you and pull out your Hellion and spam fire at the iceberg at the back of the poop deck. After you hit it with like 12 rockets, you'll get to White Flash to finish a step. Doing it this way will skip 3 more icebergs and additionally a Blightfather spawn. The perk spawns are random on Dead of the Night, but there's a way you can tell where the perks are as early as round 1. Above the doorways leading to the east and west hallways, the wine cellar, and the forest, there can be a statue that spawns. If there's a statue of a snake, then that means that Ra spawned in that area. If it's a statue of an eagle, then that means Zeus spawned in that area. And if it's a statue of wolves, then that means that Odin spawned in that area. Oh look, here's yet another boss fight that we're cheesing. To be fair, this next tip actually applies to all of Chaos and not just Ancient Evil, but I'm talking about it in Ancient Evil for one specific reason. There's a glitch you can do with the Scepter of Ra to melee it extremely fast. This works on both controller and keyboard and mouse, but if you're on keyboard or mouse, then there is something you can do to make this even more effective. Go to your keybind settings and go to your specialist button and put 2 keybinds on it to 2 buttons that you can very easily spam over and over again. Now once you're in the game, if you have a level 1 or level 2 scepter, on controller hold down your left trigger and spam your right trigger to melee it extremely fast, and on keyboard and mouse, hold down your melee button and spam both of your keybinds for your specialist to melee it even faster. Like I said, you can use this for pretty much any situation for any chaos map in this game, but Ancient Evil's boss fight is specialist damage centric. So if you use this trick on Pegasus and Perseus, then you can take out both of them in just one use of your scepter each. For as great as this is, there is one thing you have to keep in mind, unfortunately, and that is you can't upgrade your scepter to level 3. This is because the level 3 ability will actually override the fast melee, and when you try to do it, it'll just place the staff down and ruin it. So you do have to keep the scepter level 1 or level 2, but with how overpowered this is, to be honest, I don't think it's that bad of a trade-off. In co-op games of Blood of the Dead, everybody can get the upgraded shield no matter where they are in the map. To upgrade the shield, you gotta move the box, which, by the way, in Black Ops 4, always moves between 5 and 9 hits of it. You gotta select the keyhole to turn it blue, and then count down with your team to throw the tomahawk together. If you timed it right, then everyone in the game will get the upgraded shield. In Classified, there is a door near Brew that you can interact with to play some dialogue. Once he shuts up, you can interact with it again to make him talk again. After you knock on his door 5 times, Samantha will spawn in about 40 Nova Crawlers. You can do this as early as round 1 to get a ton of points to get set up in a map earlier. A lot of people hate the Red Nova step on Alpha Omega, and I hate to be that guy, but it's really not that bad because of 2 reasons. Number 1, you can call on the Atom unit on this step, and he will target every single zombie in the map except for the Red Nova Crawler. And also, you can use the teleporters to teleport the Red Nova Crawler. Before the step starts, place 1 teleporter pad behind House D right here, and once you find the Red Nova Crawler, take him to the nearest teleporter pad, whether it's in the beds, the generators, or the diner. Take him to the nearest one, and when he's right on top of the teleporter pad, place down a teleporter to teleport him right behind House D. Also, one more tip for taking out the zombies. You get a free normal Pack-a-Punch Rega Mark II on the step before this. Hit fire at the zombies' heads on this step, and you will never accidentally kill the Nova Crawler. Unless, of course, you have the worst perk in Zombies history. In Tag the Toten's Easter egg, after you complete the Lighthouse lockdown, you normally can't Pack-a-Punch anymore, but while you're Pack-a-Punching the Seal of Duality, once it finishes at a location, instead of picking it up, if you leave it at that machine, and you run to the next machine that you would normally shut down in this Easter egg, then you'll see that you actually can Pack-a-Punch your weapon still. Obviously, this is not supposed to be in the game, and it's pretty funny that it is. That's it for the normal Ether Chaos storyline. What did I just say? That's it for the normal Ether storyline. Now let's jump on to the Dark Ether storyline, starting with D-Machine. You can use Ether Shroud to teleport in a few spots unnocked. Before you do this, make sure you have your Ether Shroud at least tier 3 so you can teleport with it. The first trick I have is if you come to spawn and you look through this window near Stamina, then you can pop your Ether Shroud to teleport right beside Stamina. And the second trick I have is if you buy the roof debris, then you can actually teleport from the top of the plane wing to Nock's roof. Whether you're doing a defense round or this map's boss fight, there is a really easy way to take out the Orders, and that's with the RPG and Ring of Fire. When an Order spawns in, you want to pop your Ring of Fire and stand in it and spray it down with the RPG. This combination is so insane that it'll take out any Order on pretty much any round. On Outbreak, if you get either the transport or retrieve challenges, then you can actually duplicate the canisters, so you only need to walk 1 to the drop-off point. When you're putting one in, you want to spam your crouch button when your meter gets like 95% full, and it'll both accept the canister and also drop it on the ground. This just duplicated the canister, so you can pick this one up and activate it to take out the zombies around you and very easily put the second one in without having to walk it over. Upgrading Klaus can be a real pain sometimes on Mauer, but if you craft an ARC XD score streak, or ARCXD, ARCXD. This game's been out for 4 years and I still don't know how to say this. Then you can park it on the ground right in front of Klaus to protect him for half the lockdown. If you're in co-op, have one more person craft this to make this lockdown completely free. In Forsaken, when you do the knocked arcade machine, you can actually select a custom build on your 1911 with all your attachments and your camo on it. And I'm not gonna lie, it kinda does kill the immersion a bit. But a tip is a tip is a tip is a tip. For Vanguard Zombies, my tip is you
Don't play them.
And now we're finishing this video with Black Ops 6, starting with one of my favorite maps ever, Terminus. While you're defusing a bomb on the bomb step, you can actually replate your armor while you're defusing it. This also applies when an amalgam grabs you. Not only can you still plate while you're being grabbed, but you can also still defuse the bomb while you're being grabbed as well. On Liberty Falls, if you leave the bank doors closed, there's a really good strat you can do. Get on top of the bank roof and come over here and buy this debris, and then drop down to this roof, and if you walk up to this part of the wall where I do, you can actually buy the debris in the ice cream shop through the ceiling. And once you buy this debris, if you drop down and run around the ice cream shop, you'll see that the doors are open, allowing you to get inside the bank with both the doors closed. In this room, the zombies only have 3 spawns, and that's from this hole in the ice cream shop and the 2 windows in this hall. So you can get set up and camp in here for a really easy camping strat. The point of power traps are without a doubt 10 out of 10 traps. And one of the reasons why is because while it's active, it gives you infinite ammo for your score streaks. So if you activate the point of power trap and pull out a war machine, then you can spam it on the ground as much as you want to for the next 20 seconds. And also, in case you're not aware, the point of power traps are only good either before you interact with craft for the Easter egg or after you complete the point of power step and you get the symbols on the wall. If you try using a point of power traps outside of what I just said, then they'll turn off in like 5 seconds because it's tied to a step you haven't done yet. There's a really easy way to cheese the golden armor on the tomb without a score streak. Before you load in, if you want to make this as easy as possible, put the retaliation augment on Jug. To make this really easy, you need the upgraded ice staff, and you'll also need an insta-kill as well. Thankfully, if you don't want to waste a gobblegum, you can actually spawn one in whenever you want. Craft a bunch of C4s and then go to quick revive. If you line up your crosshair like this and walk, jump, and throw the C4, then you should land the C4 near the insta-kill power up here. I'd throw multiple C4s if I were you to guarantee that you hit it. Once you have your C4 set, do not double tap your lethal button. Once your C4s are set, run to spawn and place both the heads down. And real quick, one final optional thing to make this easier. If you want to use one, pop a temporal gift to make this even easier. Double tap your lethal button to pop your C4s and you should spawn an insta-kill right in front of you. Grab the insta-kill and then start your first boss fight. As soon as you put your hand up like this, you want to get a charged staff shot ready and shoot it at your feet, then spam single shots at the boss's heads. And also, make sure you're holding down your replay button the entire time. The single fire shots combined with the insta-kill should allow you to take out these enemies fairly quickly, even on a low round. And if you take out the first ones fast enough, then you can go do the other one the exact same way while the insta-kill is still active to beat both golden armor boss fights in under 60 seconds. On Shattered Veil, you can use Dark Flare on the glue pods that have a Mark II canister to explode them before you have the Mark II. And finally, for Reckoning, there is a sharpshooter Easter egg you can do to get free loot. After you unlock Pack-a-Punch, come to spawn and stand on this Janus Towers logo and shoot this one on the TV. Doing so will start step 1 of the sharpshooter lockdown. In this side Easter egg, you gotta hit all the targets without shooting a zombie. You can miss the target a few times, but just don't take too long and do not shoot a zombie. Doing either of these will fail the step and you'll have to retry this on the next round. In the first phase, you gotta find one target at a time, and it goes all around this room just like you saw in the gameplay. And once you shoot the one right in front of where you started, then you will get a free ammo mod. And if you're doing the Easter egg, then I strongly recommend that you wait to do the next two until round 21. On the second one, you gotta shoot 2 targets at a time. And again, once you shoot 8 to 9 batches of them and you shoot the 2 targets that are right in front of where you started, then you will get a free gold ether wrench. This will only be gold around 21 after, which is why I told you to wait. And finally, if you do this a third and final time, you have to hit 3 targets at a time. And once you hit the 3 that are right in front of where you started, then you will get a free Tier 2 Pack-a-Punch. And there was a tip for every single zombies map in COD Zombies history. What was your favorite tip in this video? Let me know down below in the comments. If you want more tips like this but in a more rapid fire format, then click the video on the screen and go watch some useful COD Zombies information. Shout out to the members, thank you all so much for supporting me. And a huge shout out to the new members, Reaper, Xavier, I think, Lucas, and Galactical. Thank y'all for becoming members, I really appreciate it. And with that, I'm off to hibernate until Black Ops 7. Peace out.